dominates the cultural landscape. And the reason why it's such a big idea and why it dominates the cultural landscape is because it has such profound, massive, sweeping consequences. Now, you say, what was his big idea? You might think, on a superficial understanding, that his big idea was that the earth is old, and everybody thought that it was young. But that's not Darwin's big idea. You might think that his big idea was that living things that are alive today are different than living things that were alive a long time ago, but that also is not Darwin's big idea. You might think that was his big idea. That's not his big idea. You might think that his big idea was that the living things in the biological world are related to each other. And that is also not his big idea. Lots of people thought of all these things long before him. You might think that his big idea was that living things can undergo change in how they look over time. But again, that was really not Darwin's big idea. So what was Darwin's big idea? Here it was. His really big idea is that you can get extraordinarily complex things out of very simple things by accident. That was his singular big idea. It was his really big idea because it reversed a universal intuition. And what was the universal intuition? The universal intuition that he reversed was the design inference. The design intuition. Now, we all know what the design intuition is. Let me describe it for you. We use the design intuition all the time. So, for example, if you are, just to use a completely random example, if you were cleaning your house, let's say, and you came across your razor in your daughter's bathtub, okay, and that razor that you thought that you had lost, what do you assume? Do you say, oh, I see what probably happened here. A window was left open, and the wind came in and accidentally blew my cabinet open. And then the cat probably came along and accidentally knocked my razor out, and it fell on the ground. And then my shower drain probably accidentally got plugged, and then it got flooded, and then the razor got carried down the hallway. And then maybe likely there was a tremor that shook the house, and it accidentally jiggled the razor into my daughter's bathroom and up into her bathroom tub. You see, it was just a big accident that my razor ended up in my daughter's bathroom, causing me to look high and low, and then buying another one. It's just an accident. No. Do I think that? Do I say any of that? No, I don't say any of that. I don't think like that. Why not? Because of the design intuition. When you see things that are improbable, things that take planning, you assume that it takes a mind. And when we look at complicated things that look designed, we assume that they can't be an accident. It's a rational inference that you make when you see top-down engineering in nature, and you see top-down engineering in nature all the time. When you see purpose, when you see math in nature, and you see math in nature all the time. When you see planning, when you see machines in nature, like gears. When you see foresight and planning. Well, what do you assume? You assume design. And people used to look at nature this way. That is, they did before Darwin's big idea. Darwin had a big idea. There is no design in biology at all. And if you think I'm, not really framing it right, here's what he wrote. He wrote, there seems to be no more design in the variability of organic beings and in the action of natural selection than in the course which the wind blows. So you look at the, living world with all of its machines and all of its incredible appearance of design. You are to look at that and look at it and see like a waterfall. And when you see the waterfall and you see the clay and the rock gradually eroding over the eons, it's beautiful, but it's not particularly spectacular, right? It's just water flowing over an edge. And that's what you're to look at the biological realm and see it just like that. There's nothing designed about that. There's nothing more interesting about that than just wind blowing or water coursing down a river channel. That is a really, really big idea. Why? Because it naturally flows from this idea that you, being just one of those organic beings that came about by random variation and natural selection, you are also not designed. If there's no design in the variation and selection in the biology